It was a chance sighting of a peregrine falcon outside his porch window that gave our first guest the idea for a 90-day trek from Lake Erie to Arctic Quebec and Labrador. Adam Shoalts has written this bestseller, Where the Falcon Flies, about that journey. Adam, this adventure, very different from your previous ones because you actually ended up camping in some urban areas. It's kind of new for you.
Yes, I knew when I wanted to go from my front yard to the Arctic, I would have to spend about the first month in southern Ontario and southern Quebec, canoeing through Toronto, Montreal, Niagara Falls, Kingston. So I ended up camping in some unexpected places, such as under the Burlington Skyway, under the Jacques Cartier Bridge in Montreal. I had 2 camps due to stormy weather in the city of Toronto, within the city limits. So that was definitely something I had not experienced previously.
Reading your book, the passage where you were portaging your canoe from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario, just walking down the parkway past the power station, all these people stopping, they were so curious. What the heck is this guy doing?
Yes. Well, I tried to paddle as close as I could get to the brink of the falls safely because I knew this is going to be a long portage, around 13 kilometers or so, to get from just above the rapids, above the Horseshoe Falls, around the falls, the gorge, and the Whirlpool Rapids. So I said, anything I can do to reduce the length of the portage. The current is obviously quite strong out there, but I paddled in as close as I dared, edging along the shore. And then when I got to the park in Chippewa, I think it's Kingsbridge Park, right. I landed just where the barbed wire starts and got out there. And I did it early in the morning because I thought if I do it before the dawn, there won't be that many people around. And I didn't know what to expect. I thought at minimum it'll cost delays, but who knows. Portaging around the falls hasn't been done lately. And actually, when I was just getting up to the generating station, I saw an older couple coming up the sidewalk towards me, and they seemed very eager. So I was just pushing along casually my canoe on some wheels, but it turned out they just wanted to ask me if I knew where the bird kingdom was.
Right.
Luckily I did. I said it was just over there by the Rainbow Bridge. So
amazing. So camping below the Burlington Skyway, you found some nature there that you really didn't think was there.
That's one of the most rewarding aspects of this journey, I would say, you know, from Lake Erie to the Arctic, is that even in southernmost Ontario, I would find in the places I was least expecting little oases of wild. A patch of forest in Toronto or Montreal, or in that case in the Burlington Skyway. Right underneath this busy skyway, there was a forest, and I could see various birds. There was robins and grackles and black-capped chickadees keeping me company, and eastern cottontails, Ontario's only native rabbit species, ducking among the cedars. And I thought, you know, this is pretty amazing. There aren't too many countries in the world where even in the heart of our biggest urban area, the GTA, you still have a wild forest where you can set up your tent and not a soul came by and even bothered me.
You followed along St. Lawrence River, I should say, and then took an abrupt turn up to head north. Is that where the major challenges started?
Well, that's when it got very hard. But I mean, there were challenges right from the start. Lake Erie can be pretty stormy, so I had a big storm at Port Colborne that drove me ashore there unexpectedly, and I had to find a place to camp in Port Colborne, which was a bit of a twist because I didn't know what to expect. I ended up knocking on a stranger's door and saying, would it be okay if I put my tent in your backyard? I'll be gone before the dawn.
Right.
And I had no idea what kind of response I would get, like if I was going to be told, this isn't a campground, you're trespassing, scram. But luckily for me, I mean, all through my journey, with all the challenges I did face and all the obstacles, and quite different than any wilderness expedition I'd done, I crossed paths with probably throughout this journey over 100 strangers. And I can tell you in all honesty, every single one of them showed me nothing but kindness. And
well, it's not something they see all the time. Someone like you going on this 90-day trek.
That's true, but on the other hand, I didn't tell them I was on a 3 or 4 month journey. I mean, I was thinking it might take me 4 months, but I was moving as quickly as I could. But in many cases, I never even told them I was going to the Arctic. I tried to say as little as possible, and of course, all through Quebec, my French language skills were limited anyways, so it was very hard to even explain what I was doing. So most of the time, they didn't even know. For all they knew, I was a local just out paddling for a weekend. The weather was bad, so that might have helped. I think people were taking pity on me when they would see me sitting under a tree in a downpour in this unseasonably cold weather in April or May. But I mean, I just found it was one of the most rewarding aspects. People were giving me food here and there. Sometimes someone would grab onto the end of my canoe and try to help me portage. in the urban parts of my route. Someone even gave me a pair of boots before it was over. So all of that was something that I thought really showed me that the world is actually filled with good people.
Good people. Now, you're on a tour of a different sort right now, doing a lot of readings. I think I looked at your website, about 35 over the months of October and November. Where are you next, and what happens at some of these readings?
Well, I'm actually going up to Muskoka tomorrow to talk in a school there, but my next local event a Thursday night, I'll be in Niagara-on-the-Lake doing a book talk hosted by the library there. Might be still a few tickets left, but last I heard they were pretty close to selling out. And Wednesday night, for people who are maybe a little further afield, I'll be speaking in a theater in London, Highland Cinemas. So the book is brand new. It's only been out for a couple of weeks, and I have a few weeks of book talks to get through, and then I'll be off on more adventures.
And we can't wait to talk to you about them. Again, Where the Falcon Flies is the name of the new book, and you can see Adam. A couple of Niagara appearances coming up as well after the one in Niagara-on-the-Lake. But thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.